Let me ask you a question. So, if you catch your best friend's wife or your best friend's husband cheating on them and they offer you, let's say, 50 to 100 million naira for your silence, will you A, take the money and keep quiet, or B, reject the money and tell them, or C, take the money and tell them? What will you do?
Okay, yes, what I did here is get a warm water, a lukewarm water, add your yeast. This procedure is to test if your yeast is active, like if your yeast is good. I'm adding sugar to it to allow it proof faster. So after that, I'm going to mix till all combined and I'll cover for 10 to 15 minutes. So while waiting for my yeast to be active, yes, I'm going to sift my dry ingredients. First, I start with my flour. I'm going to add 5 cups of flour. Then after that, I'll add my sugar, then salt. After adding them, I'm going to mix them till all combined. So after mixing it, I'm going to check my wet ingredient, which are my yeast and sugar, to see if it's active. So now let's see if it's active now. Can you see the lump there? That's to show that the yeast is active, is good for you to use. So I'm adding my egg. After that, melted butter, then my milk. I'm going to mix again till all combined. So after mixing, I'm going to add them gradually to my dry ingredients. Why I'm doing that is for my dough not to be watery. So that's why I'm adding gradually. I'll add gradually till my dough thickens. So after my dough is thickened, then I'm going to start my kneading. So I'm going to knead for like 15 to 20 minutes. You need a lot of strength, a lot of patience for this kind of kneading when it comes to bread, because if you don't knead properly, you see a lot of lumps in your bread. So after kneading, I'm going to add my butter to it again. Then I'll knead so that it will be stretchy faster. For you to know if your dough is ready, touch it. If it bounces back, your dough is ready. So I'm going to grease my plates, or if you have your flour, add it to your plate, then your granite oil or your melted butter on top, then cover for 1 hour 30 minutes for your dough to rise. This is already risen. That's the 1 hour 30 minutes I've left it. Then this is time for preparation number 2. I'm going to separate them into 2 equal half. The first half I use it for something else, so this is the other part I'm using for my bread. So this type of bread I'm making a normal loaf garnished with coconut candy. So that's what I'm doing here. So I'm going to knead again until it's a little bit stretchy. Why I'm doing this is for my loaf to be very soft and yummy. So that's why I'm doing a lot of kneading. So I'm going to flatten it again, then roll for the first time. This, if you know how to make your sausages, that same way you rolled for your sausages, but this time you are going to make it all tight. As you roll, you use your hands to tighten it, like close it so that it will be all tight. Then after that, you're going to grease your plate or your pan, whatever, or your dresser with flour. Then after that, you stretch it. Then repeat that same process you did the first time. Then make sure they are all tight when you're rolling. After rolling, then grease your pan, the one you're using for your baking. Yes, if you have the parchment paper, add it to it. If you have flour, if you have oil, grease it with it again, then add your loaf. Yeah. So I'm going to cover it again for 30 minutes or 45 minutes to allow my dough rise again. Then after it's risen, I'm going to do an egg wash. Yeah, egg wash. Breaking your egg and your milk, mix them all together. Can you see my bread is already forming? So I'm going to grease my bread, the surface, with my egg wash. After doing that, I'm going to garnish with my coconut candy. Wow, this is yummy. When you're adding coconut candy to your bread, try it on your spare time. Try to make this and you enjoy. You would not even want to buy bread. I don't really like buying bread because I cannot bake my bread to my desire. Then you bake for 30 to 35 minutes. I'm using a local method of baking, so I'm using a pot for that. So this is what I did. After that, you can see my bread is ready, soft, hot, and yummy. Wow. After doing this, I didn't want to buy bread again. I just want to bake and try to experiment other types of making bread. So I'm going to butter my bread now. Please don't beg me. Oh, I'm not going to give you anyway. So after buttering my bread, it's yummy. Thanks for watching.